Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Hollow Knight Silksong because I have been playing it all day, and this is a very different beast. So last week, in preparation for Silksong, I went back and rebeat the original Hollow Knight, a game I've always loved very much, but I figured, okay, let's replay this. Let's make sure I've got reaction time and remember all the buttons and I'm caught up on the lore and stuff. And immediately, starting off in Silksong, this is a very different beast. So this video is going to sort of be some first impressions and gameplay review. I kind of wanted to talk about it because I have now put in about 8 hours. I have no idea how long this game is. In fact, nobody does. Nobody in the world's actually beaten it yet. But I wanted to kind of talk because they originally said there's like 200 enemies and 40 bosses in this. I've now beaten about 10 bosses and I've gotten a good taste of the world. I kind of want to just sort of talk about it because honestly, it's so good. I want to rant and rave, and I want to complain about the one part of this game that to me doesn't really work. But let's break it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, what makes this game the most different the second it starts is that now we're playing as Hornet. In the original game, we played as a very slow, very silent protagonist, and he became very strong, of course, but Hornet, she feels different. She's a spider, and she's a spider that basically has like ninja training. She's got gadgets and the ability to do crazy leg grabs, and she can actually do some pretty nasty stuff with dive hits and flipping around and healing in midair and stuff. Hornet is immediately stronger than the original character was by far. And I think in a way, I really appreciate that. Everything about Silksong, even the first 8 hours, it feels like they took the couple problems of Hollow Knight and they just completely fixed them. So in Silksong, we are now in a far-off land. There's this mysterious religion, these people at a Citadel that essentially worship silk. They think it has some sort of divine attributes, that people that have it or are connected to it are actually closer to godhood. And for some reason, they've decided to capture Hornet because as a spider, she's obviously able to produce silk. But during the course of transporting her to the Citadel, the caravan breaks, a bridge collapses, and she manages to escape. And what's cool about this game more than anything else is that I still don't really know what's going on. I've talked to a lot of protagonists, I've talked to a lot of side characters, I've done some side quests and stuff, but even now, after having talked to so many locals in this very different land, I like the fact that even the people here are interested in what Hornet's up to. I think the best part about this game immediately that works for me as a fan is in the original Hollow Knight, your character is silent. People talk at him, but he has no name. He has no real sense of purpose. Whereas Hornet, she's driven. She talks back. She asks the questions you would want to ask. If she meets people, she actually quizzes them on what are you up to? What's going on? Let's do this. She makes alliances. She helps people out. Immediately, Hornet is such a good protagonist that I want to see not just her get stronger and just her beat bosses. I want to see her and how she develops. But let's talk about the combat and let's talk about the traversal, right? Okay, so the biggest thing about this that feels immediately different is the speed and also this tactile feeling of it. Everything feels much more physical. While you're running around, you'll actually see your footsteps squishing in moss, or while you're grabbing stuff, sometimes a ledge will actually crumble off little bits of pebble, or dust will come off a pillar as you walk past it. There's much more of a sense that you are walking through this world, which in the first game, it always kind of felt like I was walking around on a very beautiful painting, right? Whereas here, you are the planet. In a way, you are so much more connected to the environment, but also, man, she's just so much better at climbing. I mean, it's so great. Because she's like basically a spider ninja, you get crazy abilities and crazy tools. You get the ability to set traps, throw knives, basically grab ledges and flip up, dive attacks. Everything about her physicality and her motion, she is so much faster. She even gets a sprint very early on that makes you run crazy fast. You can even go out of that sprint and actually do a special attack out of it. It feels great. Now, I do want to talk about one of my only teeny tiny complaints about this. So there was a system called charms that existed in the original game. You'd find charms and they would do different stuff. You know, you equip them to get extra money, or basically you can see where you're at on the map, or you get one that when you equip, every time you get hit, a little vine comes out of you and whips him back, right? The system in this is that now there's 3 elemental types. There's like yellow, there's blue, and there's green. And you can basically equip one of each type. Now, this is basically, it seems like utility, defense, and then offense, usually like your tools. And so far, I don't really like the charm system now as much. I don't have that many unlocked, so maybe as I unlock more, maybe that... I feel like the point of the charm system is definitely to make it where you get so many good choices, you struggle with what you want to slot in. And in that way, it is successful. I definitely have more stuff I want to equip than slots to equip it. So I guess good game design. But already, I'm excited to actually unlock more charms and more slots so I can start to have an actual build to it. But let's talk about some of the changes, right? Okay. So in the original game, we collected Geo. Geo was the money. Now, this time around, we collect rosary beads. Everybody is very, very religious. So a lot of the people we kill and stuff are actually mind-controlled people on a pilgrimage to the Citadel. And as you kill them and get these rosary beads, something some people really hated in the original is sort of that Dark Souls style thing. You die, you lose your souls. If you go back to your body and kill like this little ghost thing, you get all your souls back, right? Well, now, with this new system, rosary beads, you get them a lot faster than you did in the original game. So if you're trying to save up and actually make a big purchase, grinding for beads, way, way, way easier. But there's also this additional system called rosary beads. You can actually get a bunch of them, and if you find these special strings, you can actually chain them together and you won't lose them when you die. Now, there's a bit of an exchange rate. Like usually if you spend 80 to make one of those necklaces, you get to keep 60 forever. Whenever you want, later on, you just cash that in. I think this system is actually brilliant. I think it's great because sometimes when I'm in a new map, I'm in a new area, I'm trying to figure it out. I haven't even figured out the map yet. I don't even have like a way to figure out where I am. I'm always a bit afraid of like, man, I have all those rosary beads from the last boss. I don't have another station to teleport back to like the main city and spend my money. Let's actually sit here and try and figure this out. I am very thankful that now there is a system where I can basically permanently instill a lot of my beads, so saving up is easier, dying is not quite so nerve-wracking at times. It's just such a smart system. Another thing I love, this is legitimately my favorite thing in the game, and I'm going to sound like such a loser for this, but now there is no corpse running back to bosses. In the original game, there were a couple bosses where you die like outside a city and you had to run all the way into the city every single time for every boss attempt. Sometimes it was an aggravating, like solid 5-minute run back, even at the closest bench. Now, every single major boss has a bench right next to it. Benches are save points. You can save it before every single boss. Oh my gosh. You know why I love that? Because now it makes it where they can make bosses harder, they could have more phases, they could have more tricks to it, because now I can go straight there and start learning it. I like the fact that I feel so much more engaged with the combat and with the mechanics and less of that piddly time filler stuff. Honestly, this game feels so good. Some of the bosses I've defeated actually had tricks to them. I'm not going to show you, but I found a couple bosses that have a hidden mechanic that instantly kills them. And I find that fascinating. It very much reminds me of a lot of my favorite games. I love the Dark Souls games, and I'm not saying this is a Soulsborne. I know it's a Metroidvania. I know a lot of Hollow Knight fans get mad if you say it's like a Soulsborne, but I like the fact that honestly, in this, it does feel a bit like Dark Souls 3, where there are certain bosses that straight up have a trick. And if you figure out that trick, you can just delete them. This game feels so good. But also, while you're playing it, Hornet's tools, her physicality, her ability to do her dive strikes, I like the fact that she feels so different. A lot of these enemies, it feels like they've managed to make the bosses faster, their hits faster, and also it does seem like they've realized they can tune the game different while still matching the vibe of the original, and people will acclimate. Now let's talk side quests and let's talk helpers. So there are a lot of NPCs. I found I don't even know how many. A lot of them I've done side quests for. Side quests are a lot of times called wishes. You basically find them, and there's a quest board in town with a lot of wishes of, hey, I'm trying to find shawls, or go to the previous zone and find me some random beads and stuff like that. These optional things a lot of times just give you big money bonuses. Everything I've done for the most part so far has just given big money bonuses, right? But occasionally you'll find like quest relevant ones where you don't even know it at the time, but basically there's a character, finding it will give you a permanent upgrade or a new gadget that lets you progress, even though it seems like a side quest. But what's crazy is that some of the friends you make will actually ask, hey, there's a boss coming up. Do you want to help? Do you want me to actually join you in battle? And I decided to do it. I tried it out for this big moth boss. This little weird old knight guy would actually deflect blows and distract. He barely hit. I'm not going to say this is like as easy as Elden Ring's call in help mode, which basically makes the game easy mode, but this feels different. I'm not even sure I'll keep using it, but I wanted to use it at least once just to basically have the footage of it. But to me, even this feels awesome. It's so cool that there's so many extra options. This new area, the Kingdom of Pharloom, it just looks so different. I love this game immediately. I have no idea how long it is. I'm 8 hours into it. I've heard some estimations that game's going to be at 25 to 30 hours long, so maybe I'm a third through it, but truly, I have no idea. At this point, I'm sure everybody watching this video has probably already bought it as well. It's already got like 500,000 concurrent players on Steam, but I think a lot of people probably want to watch how much everybody else is loving it, because honestly, it's such a cool time. I'm going to keep playing it, and honestly, this is one of those times where I'm so into it, I actually want to put the game on one screen and a streamer on another, just so I can kind of watch everybody else reacting to the same bosses I'm reacting. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. How do you feel about Hollow Knight Silksong, and how much has this blown your mind, right? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so happy. I can't believe it's here, and I can't believe it's so good.